Okay, so something really big is happening in Vietnam's healthcare sector. I mean, it is going through this massive digital transformation, and it's catching the eye of some serious international investors. Today, we're going to break down exactly why global capital is pouring into Vietnam's health tech scene, what's really lighting the fuse for this explosive growth, and where the most game-changing opportunities are right now. And look, this isn't just a slow trickle of interest. We're talking about huge, strategic investments that completely change the game. This recent $135 million injection into a single pediatric clinic operator, Nhi Dong 315, that's not just a vote of confidence. No. It's a massive signal flare to the entire market, and it's forcing everyone to ask the same question. What is going on here? And this number? Well, this number is the answer. That single investment is a calculated bet on the immense scale of this opportunity. You've got Vietnam's healthcare market on an absolute rocket ship trajectory, set to hit nearly $34 billion by 2030. This isn't just some incremental growth, it's a fundamental rewiring of an entire industry, and it's creating an incredible pool of opportunity. Which brings us to the crucial question, right? What are the engines firing up this incredible acceleration? Well, it's not just one thing. It's actually a powerful combination of forces, all converging at the perfect moment to create this really unique landscape for innovation. It really all comes down to two main pillars. On one side, you have strategic top-down government support that's actively building a fertile ecosystem for new tech. And on the other, you've got these profound demographic and societal shifts that are just generating enormous organic demand from the ground up. Let's start with the government's role, because this is far from passive encouragement. We're talking about a deliberate strategic push. The National Digital Transformation Program has put healthcare front and center. And this isn't just some dusty policy document. The government is literally building a digital superhighway for health tech companies. By passing new laws that formally support and regulate things like telemedicine, they're not just removing old barriers, they are actively paving the way for the next wave of digital health. Now, what's so fascinating is how these powerful societal forces are creating a perfect storm of demand. Vietnam's population is one of the fastest aging in the world, which, as you can imagine, dramatically increases the need for long-term and chronic care. At the exact same time, a booming middle class is demanding higher quality, more convenient healthcare. You add to that a sharp rise in chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease, and you've got a population that is actively searching for new ways to manage their health. So, we've covered the why, those powerful drivers. Let's shift gears now to the how. We're going to look at the specific areas, the verticals, where all these innovative startups are stepping up to capture this new demand. This chart gives us a brilliant snapshot of the landscape. It's immediately clear that telehealth is the dominant and most widely adopted segment. It's making remote care a daily reality for a lot of people. But what's really exciting is the dynamic ecosystem growing around it. You've got online pharmacies, powerful B2B marketplaces that are fixing the supply chain, modern private clinics, and of course, seamless appointment booking platforms. Let's just zoom in on one of these key verticals for a second, the B2B marketplace. Now, it might not be the most glamorous consumer-facing part of health tech, but it is absolutely critical. These platforms are solving a fundamental trust problem in the pharmaceutical supply chain. By connecting manufacturers directly with providers, they're streamlining what was a pretty broken process and, maybe most importantly, helping to fight the incredibly dangerous issue of counterfeit drugs. And Biomed is the perfect example of this in action. Their platform, Thuxi.vn, does so much more than just connect buyers and sellers. It really acts as a gatekeeper, verifying suppliers to guarantee authenticity. It digitizes the entire ordering process, and now it's adding even more value by providing tech-enabled inventory management, helping local pharmacies operate more like modern, efficient businesses. Now that is how you create real, lasting value. And here's the crucial point. The most ambitious companies aren't content to just stay in one lane. The smartest startups recognize that what patients and providers truly want is simplicity. So they're evolving, they're expanding their services to become these fully integrated one-stop platforms that can manage the entire healthcare journey. And no one illustrates this better than GeoHealth. Their ecosystem is just a masterclass in integration. It can start with a simple telemedicine call, but it seamlessly connects you to physical smart clinics, on-demand at-home care, a whole network of partner pharmacies, and it keeps all of your medical records in one secure, cloud-based location. It is a true omni-channel approach that meets you exactly where you are. This, right here, is what the future of patient care looks like. All right, let's circle back to the money, because a great story is one thing, but in the world of venture capital, major investment rounds, well, that's the ultimate validation. So let's look at the hard numbers. Remember that clinic operator from the beginning? Well, that huge $135 million round was actually on top of previous funding. It brings their total capital raised to nearly $200 million. That level of investment doesn't just keep the lights on, it fuels massive nationwide scaling and service innovation. And this isn't an isolated case. Biomed, the B2B marketplace that's solving those core infrastructure problems, has raised an impressive $65 million. And this tells us that investors see huge potential not just in the flashy consumer-facing apps, but in the foundational platforms that make the entire system actually work better. Of course, building the future of healthcare is never a straight line. The path forward always has its share of hurdles. So let's take a balanced look at the real-world challenges these startups face and, more importantly, the smart strategies they're using to win. So the challenges are significant, for sure. You've got high R&D costs, you have to navigate complex regulations, and above all, you have to ensure rock-solid data security. But the playbook for success is becoming pretty clear. The winning companies are the ones forging strategic partnerships, staying nimble with adaptive business models, proving their value with hard data and measurable outcomes, and building deep trust with both patients and partners through absolute transparency. So where should we be focusing our attention next? Well, three key battlegrounds are really emerging. First, you've got the race to build those integrated platforms that become the single go-to health app for consumers. Second, there's a strategic pivot in telehealth, moving away from one-off consumer payments and toward B2B partnerships with large employers and insurers. And finally, creating an even deeper, more seamless synergy between online pharmacies and telehealth providers, really closing that loop from consultation all the way to medication. The takeaway here is undeniable. Fired up by government vision and powered by real societal need, Vietnam's health tech sector has incredible momentum. For both entrepreneurs and investors, it represents one of the most compelling growth stories anywhere in the world right now. The question isn't if this market will transform healthcare, but who will build the defining platforms for the next 100 million people.